Okay, so we have been adding polynomials. Now we're going to be subtracting polynomials. And there's a really important difference and a lot of just details to kind of keep track of. Okay, so we're going to jump right into an example, and I'll point out the details kind of as we go. So go ahead and write example number 1. Okay, here is our first example problem. 5x squared minus 3x plus 2, and then that's all in parentheses, and then minus x squared minus 6x plus 9. And if you notice, when I wrote it, I just made sure it was really neat. I sort of spaced it out. These are just really good strategies to kind of make your life easier, make sure you're not losing any negative signs in here. Okay, so here's what's really important. When we were adding polynomials, these parentheses really didn't mean anything because it was just, oh, we're just adding this junk and this junk. But now, these parentheses are extremely important because what these parentheses mean is that everything inside these parentheses is being subtracted. So it's almost like you could think of it as distributing a negative 1. You could think of it that way, right? You could say like, oh, this is a -1 right here and we're multiplying. You could think of it that way. Or you could think, oh, I'm subtracting this, and I'm subtracting this. Either way you think about it, this is what your next line of work is going to look like. This set of parentheses is not being subtracted. Look, there's no minus sign in front. This minus sign belongs to this set of parentheses. So what I'm going to do is just copy down. Look, I'm copying with no change. There's no change. These are the same. But now here, look, this is minus x squared. This is minus a -6. What's minus a negative? Oh yeah, a double negative, that becomes a positive. This is minus 9. This is minus 9. Okay? So notice, like, I said it like, oh, this is minus this, minus this, minus this. You could also think of it as like, this is like an invisible -1. Oh, -1 times x squared is negative x squared. -1 times -6 is positive 6. -1 times positive 9 is negative 9. It doesn't matter how you think about it, but this is your next line of work, and now you are combining like terms. Okay, so 5x squared minus x squared. That's 5 minus 1. That's 4x squared. Next, these are like terms, -3 and positive 6. Okay, here I have more positives than negatives, so it's going to be positive, and 6 minus 3 is 3. And here, these are like terms, 2 minus 9. Here I have more negatives than positives, so it's going to be minus, and this is 7 more negatives than positives, right? So this is my answer. Okay, so notice, first, and don't skip this step because that's just asking for mistakes. You can distribute that negative. Okay, and you can view it, again, you can view it as distributing, multiplying, or you can view it as subtracting, but just distribute that first and then combine. Okay, let's do one more example, and then I'll let you have at it. So here's another example. 3n squared minus 7 minus, and again, notice I'm nice and neat. I'm making my negative signs really big. I'm not going to lose them. 5n squared plus 3n minus 7. Okay, again, this negative sign applies to this set of parentheses. Okay, it does not apply to this. So when I'm writing without parentheses, I'm just copying exactly what's here. No change here. This negative sign applies to the 5. This is minus 5n squared. This is minus 3n. Okay, and this is minus -7. That becomes plus 7. Okay, so here I have 3n squared minus 5n squared. Okay, 3 minus 5 is -2n squared. Okay, now I have -7. What's that like terms of? There's no n on this. This one's also no n. -7 plus 7, that's 0. I'm not going to write that at all. Okay, and then here, this is minus 3n. There's no like terms. We're just going to bring it down. Okay, so this is my answer. And a quick note that I didn't put up here is we should always put your answer in standard form. Okay, what does that mean? That means, like, let's say this had been a 2. And so I had negative 7 plus 2, oh, that's negative 5. I wouldn't have put the negative 5 first. I would have put it at the end because standard form means I put the largest exponent first, like this is n squared. Then the next, this is n to the first. And then the last one that doesn't have an n at all, that would go last, okay? So standard form just means that the largest exponent first, okay? So these are your two examples. And then right down here below on your notebook, you're going to do the next 3 questions. So you can just kind of set yourself up like this, and you're going to use this page. And notice I'm leaving you enough space to write your work neatly, to neatly write this step of distributing the negative and then combine your like terms. Okay? So be neat so that you don't miss any little details. That's like a really important piece of this topic.